Welcome to Dracula Daily. This is our 14th installment, May 25th. And that's my dog. And we are finally meeting two of the three men who proposed to Lucy yesterday. Hi. The first we meet is Dr. John Seward, the lunatic asylum man, who, in order to overcome his disappointment at not being the chosen one in Lucy's favor, picks out the most interesting of his patients and casually tortures him. That turns out to be Renfield, who, of course, will become important later on. A journal that he keeps on phonograph. He calls Renfield quaint, but I think it's so quaint to imagine this guy leaning into the bell horn of a old-fashioned phonograph and lamenting about his refused proposal. He drizzles Latin through his little audio recording and makes references to the gates of hell and little reminders to himself to try not to go down a sadistic path. And then we also meet Quincy P. Morris. What a cowboy name. It's important to remember that at this point in history, Wild West shows had been touring Europe for 30 years and were firmly entrenched in the public consciousness. Dime novels, the expansion of the American West, the romance of the plains, all that kind of stuff. So the language that Quincy P. Morris speaks with can definitely be read in your head with the most cliched cowboy accents. And the three men who proposed to Lucy will be meeting up for drinks to commiserate and to congratulate. Little side note, there's a lot of back and forth debate on what Korea refers to. And I think, following up on that whole cowboy thing, that it is a misreading or a mispronunciation of some kind of cowboy term. And I don't think it's Korea. I think it's Korea. I think it's one of those Mexican terms that Texans adopted, like lariat, for instance, for la riata. And I think that that's where we're getting Korea from. I don't know exactly what it means, but I'm thinking that that's where it comes from and doesn't actually refer to the country of Korea. I've seen other people say that maybe it refers to a restaurant or a club or something like that. The Korea, which I suppose is possible, but I think that Quincy P. Morris is such a Texas cowboy character that must be a reference to some kind of Texas cowboy slang. In the meantime, where's Jonathan?